Do
There we
that
go.
to the cloud.
Okay, done. Okay, I start again. Techno problems. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to extend a warm welcome to all of you, our chapter members, global members, other chapter members, friends and guests to this evening's event. Um, we're at the end of June and it's our first quarter that the new board started. We have worked really hard, Shahab Anari, myself, and all the other board members to bring you best-in-class speakers to add resources to your already overfilled toolkit that's just busting over with all the learnings that you're doing with us. Just an admin detail is that all of you will receive the presentation as well as any other tools that Maria is going to share with us this evening. And so you will focus on her talk. You will also receive a separate email that will give you your CCE units that you so well deserve. So as we move into this much awaited program this evening, I would just like to have you share something with me, if you don't mind, is if you could put in the chat line some negative thought or feeling you have that's going to distract you for the next hour. So you can put in the chat line. If you're comfortable sharing, that's wonderful. You can shout it out to yourself where you are so that you release this negative energy that you have and you can focus on the program that's about to start. I will start. I won't write. I need to get rid of my technophobia. Tired, dinner time, hungry, tired. In a dialogue, okay. Colleen, impatient. She wants me to get on with it, okay. I get to. Thunderstorm winds. Okay, you can keep adding to the list as we go on. And I will now like to commence this evening's program and introduce you to Maria. Dr. Maria Nemeth is a leading expert in leadership excellence, personal and professional development, and has been featured on the Oprah Winfrey Show. She is the founder and director of the Academy for Coaching Excellence and has trained thousands of people worldwide, including myself, in the nonprofit, profit, and other sectors. She is a highly acclaimed author of two very notable books, The Energy of Money, that's available in 5 different languages, and Mastering Life's Energies. She's a master certified coach and has transformed thousands of lives across the world over several decades. She tells me, I think she said something like 50 years of being in this work. A lifelong agent of social change, Maria has contributed to other areas such as civil rights, racial justice, women's empowerment, and health and human services. So without much ado, I shall give the stage over to Maria, and it's all yours. And Maria likes the screen the way it is, so you will see my face along with hers. Josh is her longtime assistant and right-hand man, so he will be accompanying us this evening.
This is great. Thank you so much. And I just know how difficult it is sometimes to get connected with with all these technical things that we have to connect us. But, one of the great things about being on Zoom is, especially with the pandemic, it's given us a way to be able to communicate with one another, to reach out to one another and share insights, share information, share experiences. So What I'd like you to do this evening or this afternoon, or maybe this morning in Jakarta, would be to let's pretend that we've known each other for a while. Would that be okay with you? And the reason I say that is because I would like to be able to have a very good conversation with you about some tools and principles that I think might make your life a little easier being a coach. I was saying earlier today that I love working with coaches. I have been working with people either as a clinical psychologist, I'm a PhD psychologist, as well as an MCC coach. And for the first 20 years of working with people, I was doing that as a psychologist. And about 30, 35 years ago, discovered that my temperament is much more, in line with being a coach. Because in therapy, the primary goal in therapy is healing. You know, you go to a therapist when you have some issue, some concern, long-term concern or crisis, loss or threat of loss that you're dealing with. And the goal in therapy is to help you heal from that. But the goal of coaching is actually different. With a coach, what you're doing is you're creating the life that this person would love to live. And so you see, it's so important, especially nowadays, for us to have coaches because it's your calling. And I think if you're like most of us coaches, we find that it's not just a profession, but an actual calling means that it really is in our heart to be able to work with people as they create the life that they would love to lead. And as a coach, you literally hold the person's life in your hands. Because
Maria, can I
how,
just interject for 1 second? I think your
yes.
microphone is bumping against something. It's making a bit of a scratching
Oh,
noise.
I'm so sorry. Yes, it is. It is. So sorry.
No worries.
Thank you for telling me. Yes.
Absolutely.
I think that'll be better. I think you'll tell me if this is better because my little necklace was there.
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, great. Great, great. So, so you're actually holding the person's life in your hands because how you coach them will determine the goals and dreams that they choose for their life. And that's why it's so wonderful to pick a profession and a calling such as coaching. So is this better, Josh? Did it stop? Good, 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 good. So once again, during this time together, I would just love it if you would pretend that we've known each other for a long time. So it's like we're having a chat. We're sitting together and maybe drinking our coffee or tea and just relaxing. And let me give you some things that I think might prove very interesting to you as a coach. So we've talked about me long enough. So I think, Josh, we can skip that part of the slide that deals with me. I want, however, to talk just a little bit about the Academy for Coaching Excellence because it's our mission to show you how to coach people to live without regrets, literally. Many traditions talk about the life well lived. Fewer teach you exactly how to create it with your clients. And this is where we come in, I promise you, to teach people how to empower others to live without regrets, to be able to say for themselves at any point in their life, you know, I have my ups, I have my downs, but I am living the life I love to live. And that's because I have a great coach. So it's my privilege to be with you at this time. So the purpose of this training, we're going to put it here, and I like to have slides so that you don't have to worry about taking notes. You can see these slides, and I assume people can have this recording if they want to afterwards. Yes, that's good. That's good. So the purpose is for you to learn some simple tools and strategies to turn a difficult situation away from a possible breakdown toward a possible and powerful breakthrough. Excuse me for just pausing for a second. Josh, I'm actually going to eliminate the pictures of people altogether um, because I want to be able to read this slide in its entirety. So I have a retraining request of you. And this is it. There are going to be times in this webinar in which I ask you and really invite you to participate by answering some questions that I'm going to pose to you. And please answer the questions so that everyone in this webinar will be enriched by your contribution. So I'm going to be asking you to take a definite part in this webinar with me. And I'm assuming that you're willing. You know, most coaches are willing to do this sort of a thing. So this is what we're going to cover. We're going to cover what the negativity bias is and where it comes from. It's a naturally occurring phenomenon. We're going to really be looking at it more deeply. Some strategies for interacting with clients when they're experiencing the negativity bias in order to help bring their creative thinking back online. Okay? And finally, a simple tool that you can use immediately for yourself and your clients to go past the negativity bias with ease. And so everything that I talk with you about in this webinar, I give you permission to use with your clients. And I'd be honored if you find them useful. So let's look at what the negativity bias is all about. It's a natural and normal tendency for the brain to look first for signs of danger. It's natural, it's normal for the brain to look for what could go wrong in a situation rather than what could go right. And Rick Hansen, a great psychologist, has this wonderful quote: "The brain is like Velcro for negative experiences, but Teflon for positive ones." Now, for those of you who don't know what Velcro is, it's the part that sticks together. So negative experiences are literally very sticky for the brain. We remember them much more than positive experiences. This is normal, this is natural. And it's one of the jobs of a coach to reach through to the client and show them how to go past this normally occurring reaction with a sense of ease. So let's look a little more fully at this, okay? So recent research, well, recent, it's been about 2 or 3 years now, has shown that the brain is literally hasn't changed very much in 100,000 years. Literally has not changed. Around 7 or 9,000 years ago, we developed blue eyes. But that's pretty much all that the brain has changed in over 100,000 years. Think about this for a moment, coaches. The brain that you have, your brain, hasn't changed much in 100,000 years. You know, we were physically weak. We didn't have fangs or fur. We couldn't run very fast. But we did have a brain that could look for predators. Now, I'm going to give you, come with me on this kind of visual tour. Let's suppose that we are all a tribe together and we are in a cave and we're hungry. So we decide that we want to leave the cave and go and find something to eat. So we all go to the edge of this cave and we're just about to leave the cave. Are you with me? All right. right before we leave the cave, what is the first thing, as we're leaving it actually, what is the first thing our brain is going to look for? Put it in the chat space. I want to see from some of you. And Josh, if you'd read it for me.
Sure thing. Some folks are saying danger, the edge, threat, light, snakes, I like that.
Yes.
A big beast.
Yes, exactly. I'm reminded of Indiana Jones in the Raiders of the Lost Ark when he goes through everything, every danger in the whole world. And he's about to discover the Ark. And as he opens this cave to go down and actually get the Ark, finally, it's covered with snakes. And he turns to the camera and he says, snakes. It had to be snakes. And of course, yes, it had to be snakes because on the hero's journey, of which he was a part, it is the thing he was most afraid of. Well, for us, leaving the cave, our brain naturally looked for predators, danger, because, folks, the people who had brains that did not look for danger, they became someone else's lunch before they could have their own. Seriously, the people who had brains that did not look for danger, these were the people who didn't live long. So you see, over the millennia, we have inherited a brain that is allowing us to live because it looks for danger first. It is always seeking to protect us. Now, as you hear me say this, I'd like you to imagine a possibility that you are not your brain. You have a brain, just like you have 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth, and a brain, but you are not your brain. You are that which has the capacity to train your brain, the capacity to train your brain. And this has such great possibilities for us when we see that. And we might go into that a little bit later, but I just want to offer that to you because I want you to begin to observe how the brain works. Any questions about this so far, Josh?
Nope, not yet.
Okay, great. So to repeat, the prehistoric brain of which we inherited, it looks for the following: danger rather than opportunity. Now, I want you to see this because, as you'll hear me say a number of times, when your client first comes in to see you, it's like they're leaving the cave for the first time and they're actually coming out into the open. They're going to be looking at what is wrong with them rather than what is right with them. And as a matter of fact, as they see you for the first time, even though they know that you're a coach and you're going to help them look at their life, they might first be looking at, is it safe to speak to this person? A brain that looks for threats rather than treats. And what is wrong rather than what is right. So it's important that I'm saying this over and over again because have compassion for your brain. It still thinks literally that a woolly mammoth is around the corner, just waiting for you. But you and your clients have the power to detect and direct it to greater clarity, focus, ease, and grace. You and your clients do have the power to help it focus with greater clarity, focus, ease, and grace. And as a matter of fact, that is the definition of success, that we have at the Academy, that success is doing what you said you would do consistently with clarity, focus, ease, and grace. So, moving on, one place in which we encounter the negativity bias is something that I put together a number of years ago. I call it the playing field of life. And I want you to see this. It's for many clients, I talk of it in terms of the success playing field, because when you learn some of the rules of this playing field, then you can become successful with much more ease. So, Josh, if you would give me the success playing field, perfect. So let's say that there's this imaginary line that separates two aspects of reality that you and I have come here to play in life. One is visionary reality and the other is physical reality. And visionary reality is the home of our ideas, our dreams, our vision, our desires. And it's very stable over time. And by that I mean, you can have the same dream, the same wishes and desires throughout much of your life. Doesn't need to change. But you see, physical reality is much different than that. In physical reality, whatever you and I want to do, it takes 6 forms of energy. We've actually, as human beings, have created 6 forms of energy that we say this is what it takes to be successful. The first is the energy of money. And of course, one of my books is The Energy of Money. And money is really nothing more than energy. It's neither good nor bad, right or wrong. It's neither spiritual nor non-spiritual. It's just energy. And when we learn how to use it correctly, we can have a life filled with possibility and promise. The other 5 forms of energy after this, the energy of time. And coaches, what are the 2 reasons that your clients and you and I actually use for not doing what we want to do in life? You know, I don't have the time or I don't have the money to do it, right? The next is the energy of physical vitality, which means having a relationship with your body that actually promotes your ability to do what you come here in your lifetime to do. Then there's the energy of creativity. There's the energy of enjoyment. And finally, the energy of support. So I could spend 5 hours talking to you about the playing field, but I want to summarize something, bottom line, that's really related to the talk today. So look here and you'll see that we have a desire in physical reality represented by this heart. And it could be a dream that we have, a desire to open up a business, to start a coaching practice. And then we create a goal in physical reality. Now, the thing to know about physical reality is that not only does it take energy, but physical reality is always changing, always. We know that now, don't we? With the beginning of the pandemic. I mean, 8 months ago, if someone would have told you this is how we'd be acting in life, you know, we'd say, no, come on, that's like a science fiction movie. It's not reality, and look at us. And not only do things change, but they're unpredictable. You cannot depend upon when they're going to change. So we're really aware of those factors now, aren't we, in physical reality? But you see, here's what happens as we try to go from our dream and take action into physical reality. run up against something called trouble at the border. Now, trouble at the border is this experience we have of, oh my heavens, it's so much more difficult to do this than I thought it would be. Think about it. Maybe some of you starting your coaching practice. For me, I've written 3 books, and every time I begin to write a book, I have the same experience. This is going to take more work than I thought it would. Because you see, in truth, when you're at this trouble at the border experience, it does take 10 times more energy to produce 1 unit of results. Think of it as a rocket ship blasting off from the launch pad. It takes 10 times more energy. Rocket ships burn 90% of their fuel in the first 3.5 minutes of liftoff. And not only that, there's this internal dialogue we begin to have when we're at the border. And it sounds like this. You know, I don't think I should be doing this. It's too hard. It's taking too much energy. With me, when I write a book, almost always at the beginning, there's this conversation. You know, no one's going to want to read what you write. They're going to discover that you really don't know what you're talking about. And this has been with me for 3 books. So, Josh, are we on this together? Perfect, perfect. And the 10 times more energy. Perfect, thank you. So that internal dialogue is always talking to us out of doing what it is we want to do. Now, this is what I want you to get about this, coach. Okay? When your client is experiencing trouble at the border, in other words, they have come to you with promises that they were going to do things, and they don't do it, and they're having a difficult time. I want you to remember 2 things. Number 1, if they're having a difficult time, it usually means they're doing something right, not something wrong. They are at trouble at the border, and it's a real experience. Okay? The second thing, not only are they at where they need to be, but when a client comes to you, especially at the border, and they haven't done what they said they would do. Now, if we were together, I'd ask everyone who's ever had a client who hasn't done what they said they would do, raise your hand right now, and I bet everybody would raise their hand. Well, this is the time when you say to your client, welcome to coaching. Because if you always did what you said you would do, you wouldn't need a coach. Welcome to coaching. Welcome to trouble at the border. The minute you say that, your client will relax. They'll stop thinking that there's something wrong with them. You see, their brain has been trying to protect them from danger where there is no danger. So one of the things that they'll be hearing is something called monkey mind. So monkey mind is a term that I coined about 30 years ago. It's a Buddhist metaphor. It stands for that aspect of the mind that is always chattering at us as it swings from doubt to worry and back to doubt again. You see the monkey in the background. You know, as many times as I've shown this slide, it was only not until recently that I actually saw that monkey in the background. So here's 3 key concepts that I hope you take away with you regarding monkey mind. First is it's normal. Second is it's natural. The third, it's inevitable. Normal, natural, inevitable. Normal meaning most people have it. Natural, meaning we do not have to learn how to have monkey mind. Inevitable meaning it's going to happen when you're at the border. It is going to happen. So, the first step in mastering the negativity bias is to develop our ability to observe monkey mind in action. Remember, you heard me say earlier, you are not your brain. You have a brain. You are not your brain. You are not your monkey mind. You have a monkey mind. You can observe monkey mind. So I want to show you how to do it. And this is one way to observe the negativity bias is by looking at something I call the monkey mind symptoms checklist. Now, feel free to use any of this that you want. And Josh, what I'd like to do with these people, because they were so kind in waiting for so long, we have actually an expanded version of the monkey mind symptoms checklist. And anyone who writes to us, I'd like to send the expanded version. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Yeah, we can have Rosemary include it in their follow-up email.
I love it. So let's show what it looks like now. This is the truncated version of it, we could say. So would you look at these symptoms? And I have some examples and definitions. The first one, incidentally, if you hear your mind right now saying to you, I don't think I have any monkey mind symptoms, that would be symptom number one, being vague. Do you ever have scarcity thoughts, ever? Talking of the past or present or the future as if it were the present, getting defensive. No, I never get defensive. Taking things personally. Me, I don't take things personally. Raise your hand if you ever experience comparison. Ever. Do you ever compare yourself to other people? Ever. Are people raising their hands?
They sure are. I think
Okay.
just about everybody is.
Oh, good.
Yep.
I hope so. Listen, it's normal. It's natural. You know, I observe when I'm doing comparison. I'll give you a book example again. I'm writing the book, like the Energy of Money book, which is now seen to be arguably a classic when it comes to money and your life and transformation. But, you know, as I was writing that book, one of the monkey mind symptoms that was always there that I had to just observe and focus away from was, you know, you'll never write as good a book as all the other people who have talked about money for years. You know, you just don't have what it takes. You're not as expert as they are. Resignation, being a victim or martyr, you know, it's like, it's okay. You go out, you have fun. I'll just stay here and work hard. Either or thinking, excuses. So, reflections for you. Which monkey mind symptoms do you demonstrate a lot when you're at the border? Put them in the chat right now, please. This is the part where I've asked you to participate, remember, at the beginning? Please do it. Which one do you demonstrate? And what's your experience when you're demonstrating them? And Josh, if you...
Yeah,
tell me.
comparison, excuses, 4, 5, and 6, defensive, taking things personally, comparison. This is great. Some more comparison, scarcity, either or thinking, being vague, comparison, either or, some A lot of taking things personally here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Oh, I'm so glad you all
resignation.
are telling the truth. I am so glad you're
Yep,
telling the truth,
this is great.
coaches. I'm thrilled that you're telling the truth, you know, because we all experience this. Now, looking at how to use this with clients. So I want to suggest something to you, okay? This is nuanced. And so I hope I can explain it clearly enough. Monkey mind, that negative internal dialogue, does not respond to the use of the conditional tense, the conditional in grammar, the conditional tense. I'll give you an example. You could ask your client, number one, which of these monkey mind symptoms might you be demonstrating right now? You would not say, which ones of these are you demonstrating right now? Because the first thing that happens is the brain, trying to protect your client, will say, I don't have monkey mind right now. And of course, they're possibly being defensive or taking something personally. No, but if you say, which of these monkey mind symptoms might you be demonstrating right now? It slips underneath the monkey mind radar, and they'll probably answer. Is this clear? I want some feedback as to whether or not this is, because this is so nuanced. If ever you want a client to look at something, don't say it to them in the straight on present tense. Say it in the conditional. So
Folks are saying yes, clear, very helpful, very clear. It gets them
great.
curious.
Yes, it does get them curious. And, then you say to them, write these down, please. Write them down, which ones you might be demonstrating. Then you say, what is your experience as you're demonstrating these symptoms? Now, you see, once again, you are getting them into what we call at the Academy the observational position. That whenever you can get your client into the observational position, they have the experience of you as partnering with them. They're experiencing some relief because they're not in it, they're observing it. Now, and here's another question you can always ask them. If you saw you had a choice, which would you be more interested in? Dancing with monkey mind or dancing with your dreams? You wouldn't say, what are you more interested in? Dancing with your monkey mind or dancing with your dreams? Once again, the client will get right back into monkey mind. But if you ask it in this way, if you saw you had a choice, which would you be more interested in? Dancing with monkey mind or dancing with your dreams? You see how it slips under the monkey mind radar once again. Because you see, monkey mind, negativity bias, the negativity bias is the clinical way of talking about it. The monkey mind is the demonstration of it, all right? Because I believe in not only knowing the concept, but let's look even underneath the concept into the actual behavioral symptoms that a client might be experiencing so that you can intervene. So there is another simple tool for guiding your client past monkey mind, negativity at the border. Okay.
There was a question in the chat
Oh,
if you want to address that.
I'd love to.
Cindy says, would this be any different if your first language isn't English?
Yes, it's no different. I've worked with people in Sweden, um, uh, people who are French, Italian, German. There is a conditional tense. The only place where it would be difficult, truthfully, that I know right now is in Finland, because the Finnish language is unlike any other language on the planet except for the Basque language. Basque and Finnish language, incidentally, they don't know where they came from, whereas all other languages have these roots. The Basque and Finnish languages don't, and they don't relate to each other also. But even if the person's, if it's their second language, or you can even say it in their native language in the conditional tense. Wherever there's a conditional tense, you can use it. Okay? Anything else?
Cindy says, awesome, so fascinating.
Yeah, it is fascinating, isn't it? I'm just giving you some of my best stuff, coaches, because I know how hard we work. And so I just wanted to give you some of my tricks and techniques.
And Maria, I think your microphone is still bumping against something, maybe your scarf or something.
Okay,
It's
I'll
getting
hold
a
it
little bit
out.
of a...
I'm going to hold it out. I'm going to hold
Perfect.
it out. Okay. So let us show you something that you can use. Once the client answers the question, when you say, what might you be more interested in? Your monkey mind or your dreams? And of course, they'll answer my dreams. So then this is a simple tool that you can use afterward. Okay, let's look. It's called the life's intention. A life's intention, the definition is an underlying direction, aim, or purpose that brings great meaning to your life. An underlying direction, aim, or purpose that gives great meaning to your life. Now, over the years, I would ask people, what is it that you want to be known for? What is a contribution that you want to make in your life? And I began asking this, really knowing after talking with thousands of people, that really people do want to make a contribution in life, whether it's their friends, family, community, church, colleagues. But people really want to know that their life has made a difference. And so I would ask people, what is it that you want to be known for? And after literally talking with thousands of people, I came up with this Life's Intentions inventory. And so here they are. Now, is this the entire Life's Intentions inventory?
This is the abridged list.
Okay, so this is the abridged list, and we'll send you the whole list for you to be able to use, coaches, and feel free to use it. And so right now, I'd like you to pick one life's intention that scores 5 for you right now. Take your time. And incidentally, when you're taking the life's intentions inventory, the whole inventory, you can have as many 5s as you want. This is just what has heart and meaning for you. So right now, look.
See, folks are sharing successful entrepreneur, says Marilyn, contributor to my community, an effective coach, effective coach, yeah. loving family member,
Hmm.
physically fit and healthy,
Hmm.
effective change agent,
Oh, great.
visionary leader. Yeah.
That's great. So, what does it feel like for you, coaches, when you see that? The one that scores 5 for you. What does it feel like? What's your experience?
Mm. Nija says inspired, motivated. Joanna, mega exciting. I love that. Excitement gives me joy. Let's see, full of energy, excited.
Oh, how sweet.
I can feel myself there now.
Oh, how great. Oh, great, 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 great. That's what your client is going to experience, okay? That's what they're going to experience. Now, do you see how from that point, you can have them look at something they would love to accomplish that reflects that life's intention. And we actually, I'm giving a lot of stuff, tools for them, Josh, because I would love them to go to the academy, and it's at no cost to you, coaches, to get the life blueprint. The life blueprint is a way for you, first of all, and then for your clients to map out 5 life's intentions that they would love to demonstrate in their lives. And it's so sweet to see this. It's really a quality of life kind of an experience. And Josh, you could either put it in the chat space or uh, figure out a
Yeah,
way.
I'll share it in the chat towards the
Okay.
end of the webinar, and
Great, great, great.
we
Yeah,
can include it in the follow-up email as well.
please, please, because I'd love you guys to see this. Because you see, when you discover some life's intentions that score 5 for you, then it's very easy to talk about, well, then what is it that I'd love to accomplish that would reflect this life's intention? And then, of course, you're starting to shift the focus of your client's attention to some goals, maybe small, sweet goals at the beginning that they would love to accomplish, that would let them know that they're actually putting that life intention into their life. So I want to give you the way to put it all together then. These are 5 steps for supporting your clients to be resilient at the border. Resilient really means their ability to bounce back and their ability to experience themselves as whole and complete, and that there's nothing wrong with them. Am I still clicking, Josh? Or am I okay?
You're okay. Yeah.
Okay, good, good. So these are the 5 steps I want to leave you with. They're what we do. Number 1, when the person is at the border, normalize the experience. And what I mean by that is let them know it's normal, it's natural, it's inevitable. And almost everyone experiences this, the trouble at the border experience. Almost everyone experiences trouble at the border. It's usually a sign that they're doing something right, not something wrong. You'll have a client who really relaxes in your presence. They won't think that there's anything wrong with them because they're so nervous or anxious. Number 2, have them observe their monkey mind symptoms. There's nothing better than asking your client, okay, if you might be having a monkey mind symptom, et cetera, what might it be? Once again, the conditional tense. Have them partner with you to observe. Next, shift their focus to something that brings an opening for possibility, which is with life's intention. There are many things that you could use, okay? But I'm just telling you, the life's intentions inventory is one way of getting them looking at possibility that has some real depth and meaning for them. Next, design small, sweet steps. All right, small, sweet steps. Small, sweet steps, not huge steps. Always at the border, small, sweet steps. Okay? If they promise too much at the border, they're going to fail because it takes so much energy to get it through. So if you're coaching someone who's writing a book, at the beginning, don't have them promise 5 pages a day. It'll eat them up at the end of 4 or 5 days when they don't do it. Start with a page at the most a day. Gradually, after about 10 days, step them up. And finally, it's really good to talk to your clients about who can they find to support them in their goals and dreams, in addition to your coaching, knowing that we all live in this incredible matrix together, and how I'm doing and how you're doing, it affects each other. You know, we weren't born to do things solitarily. We're born to do things in relationship. So helping your client to create a support system outside of coaching is wonderful, something wonderful you can do for them. So, once again, the coaching strategies: normalize and acknowledge, observe monkey mind symptoms, shift focus to something that brings an opening for possibility, design small, sweet steps, find support. Oh, and make sure that your client knows that you are delighted to be their coach. I use that word advisedly. Let your client know that you are delighted to be their coach. It'll make their day. So, any last questions and answers? And we only have a couple minutes. And if we don't have any, let me show you. We do actually have the life blueprint on our next slide here. So this is what it looks like, folks. And it is a simple, beautiful way to get a bird's eye view on the life you love and start living it now. I do one every year. Our coaches do them. And instead of making New Year's resolutions, for example, to map out the life you love with reminders of what you love to do, you'll see it. It's so beautiful. And you can download the guide at acecoachtraining.com/blueprint. So I want to thank you all for allowing me to present this to you. I know we started with a little technical difficulty at the beginning, a little trouble at the border, but we made it through with clarity, focus, ease, and grace. And if there's ever anything I can do to support you further, please let us know. And Josh, if you wouldn't mind putting an email where they can get in touch with me, possibly through you, sir, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
I know, okay, great. You can put your email right here on the chat space. And really, if you want to talk with me, if you need some support, get a hold of me.
Yeah, there's a lot of appreciation from folks in the chat here.
Oh, great.
Begum says, thank you very much for sharing your wisdom with us. Vicenta says, I feel as though this session was made for me. Thank you so much.
How sweet. Good.
Joanna says, you are amazing. I love your wisdom and energy. Perfection.
Oh,
And many more.
that's great. Great, great, great. So thank you. Thank you. This, your acknowledgement has made my day, coaches. So yeah, thanks for allowing me to be here. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you, Maria. You were truly amazing and awesome, as you always are. And yes, and out of your 5 strategies, what always stood out for me is stating your life's intentions and knowing how the monkey mind comes into play when there's trouble at the border.
Oh, yes.
You know, and I've had to, especially in these current uncertain times,
Yes.
we're always, you know, going to the edge and wondering what's next that's going to happen for us. So thank you for sharing your
yes.
wisdom and your experience and the gentle way in which you shared all of this with us. I would
I can't.
You just muted yourself, Rosemary.
You just muted yourself, Rosemary.
I did that. Oh, there we go. So I just want the attendees, thank you so much for joining us. Don't run away. Please do hit the survey link and send us your evaluation. I'm sure you enjoyed Maria just as much as me. And we look forward to seeing you at our next event. So have a good evening, and bye everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I'm not closing because I want people to have the survey link so they
Okay.
can send us an evaluation.
Okay, Josh and I will close now.
Yes.
And Josh,
Thank you so much, Josh.
Oh, absolutely. And Josh,
My
I'll see you
pleasure.
on my Zoom space, okay?
You got it. Have a good
Bye-bye,
evening, everybody.
Bye.